Good night, folks. Welcome to Greener Pasture Ministries. I am your host, Minister Chuline Searles. Welcome to our YouTube channel. First, let me apologize to those who watched the video uploaded yesterday. It had a very poor quality sound, so I have decided I will redo that video so that you can really hear the message. I had to sit down this morning before I go to work, make sure that everything that needs to be sorted out with the audio, because I really want to explain this thing to you. So tonight, I am going to look at 3 topics affecting the church that always talked about here at church through the evangelical and Pentecostal movement. And then I am going to talk about jewelry. I am going to talk about how we should carry on ourselves today. And then I'm going to talk about the last days and timelines on to our show. Sorry about that. There's a problem with the intermission video. I don't know why it's behaving like that, but I'm sorry. But I have to make some time and make sure everything in this program is working properly. There's some issues I have to be dealt out. It's not perfect, even if you get it on an Apple platform, it's still not perfect. Now tonight, I am going to talk about some controversial things in churches. I'm going to start with a simple blanket statement. And I want pastors that listen to this to understand we got to learn that sometimes the truth is not what we want people to hear. The truth is the facts, whether you like it or not. And we must stop dancing around and saying things that are not true. We're in an information age. And I know we have a lot of misinformation, but some truth that was kept from us, or some truth that some of us pastors knew, is not coming to light. And before it get into the church full time, we need to start to speak on it, and not with an apologetic way, but let it be truthful. So I can say this to you: never tell a person that the King James Bible has no error. It has a lot of errors in it. It have a lot of added verses to it. In the New Testament, alone have 250 added verses. It does not mean that it does not reveal the Creator God to you. It has. And I'm going to use the same King James Bible to reveal more about God to you, and to rebut some of the things we grew up in church hearing, because we came from a pre-slavery lifestyle in the U.S. into a free or so-called free lifestyle, but yet the methodology of slavery is still being used today. You're being told how to dress, how to present yourself, get a job. A lot of things are being projected to us, and we're still in the form of slavery. We don't even know it. So let's start with the most controversial topic: jewelry. Lord have mercy on, I don't know why, but here's jewelry. Jewelry. Now, people like Pastor Gino Jennings and some of the old evangelical churches still preach and believe that makeup and jewelry are not something that women should wear. And you are so incorrect. The Bible does not stop a person, a woman, from adorning herself with jewelry or makeup. I am going to take you through the passages of scripture from Genesis right up, showing you about women wearing jewelry and wearing makeup. I'm even showing you men wearing jewelry. I mean, get some surprises. Alright, so I have to bring it big because there are people who watch this on the phone and they want to be able. So the first passage I'm going to look at is from Genesis chapter 24, verse 10 to verse 33. And so let's go. And the servant took 10 camels on the camel of his master and depart. From all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, on the city of Nahor. And he made his camel to kneel down without the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O God, O Lord God of my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of men of the city come out to draw water. And let it come to pass that the damsel who I shall say, let down the pitcher, I pray thee, that I may drink, she shall say, drink, and I will give the camels drink also. Let the same be she that thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac, and therefore shall I know that thou hast shown kindness unto my master. And it came to pass that before he had done spoken, that before Rebekah came out, who was born of Bethuel, son of Michal, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother. So Abraham's great niece is Rebekah, because Nahor had a son. Her mother is Bethuel. Her father is Michal. Right, no. The son is Bethuel. So it is Abraham's great niece. Abraham's brothers with her pitcher upon her shoulder. And Dan was very fair to be looking for a very beautiful woman, a virgin young. Neither has any man knew her. And I want you to take this thing I'm going to highlight now for you and understand how this is interpreted. A virgin, she's young, she ain't 21 yet. Neither had any man knew her, she never had sex yet. So these two, modern day, if you're a virgin, you've never had sex yet. But in the context of this passage, a virgin means a young person under the age of 21. And because we have after that, neither had any man knew her, which means had sex with her. So this is telling her age range, 17, 18, around that age. And she went to draw water. The servant ran to meet her and said, let me, I pray thee, drink a little water from thy pitcher. And he said, drink, my lord. And she hastened and let down her pitcher upon her hand and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw water for thy camels also until they have done drinking. She hastened and emptied her pitcher into a trough, and ran again to the well to draw water and draw for all his camels. And a man wandering at her held his peace, stay calm, and whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. Based on what he saw her behavior, he recognized that God was answering his request. Now he says, though this is probably how big for you. And it came to pass that after some time, as the camels had done drinking, so between the time he finished drinking water from a pitcher, and she back and forth, filling the trough, and then the camels drank till they were finished. Right? He took out 2 hands and 2 bracelets for her hands of 10 shackles of gold. So we have lost some text here. Let me see if we can find it in the Bible. I'm letting the Bible. Yes, I've lost some text there, so I'm going to go over the Bible, come back up. I want to actually get the text. There. So, alright, so we see that He made a plea to God. God answered his plea. So, Genesis 24. Genesis 24. Here's the verse. And the king of the captain had done drinking, the man took a golden earring of half a shekel weight, and two bracelets for her hand of 10 shekel weight of gold. Real gold. Real gold. You ever see one of them gold thing that's come out your hand? So that is sort of bangles she had on, bracelet she had on. Her on a gold blade that covered this whole part of the hand. 10 shekels. Two heavy half shekel earrings. She wear a lot of jewelry. Alright, and then the text will talk about he answered because lodged by the father for the night. The answer to the father is because he spent the night. And we have both strong and provided enough and room for the lodging. And she went back home to her father. And when the father everybody upon his sister, and then Laban see these things. Laban, the same Laban that Jacob went to and married his daughter, his cousins. Right? And I had me and eat. He said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord had blessed my master greatly, and he has become great, and he has given me flocks and herds. And also, we know the whole passage. We know the whole passage. Sorry, I didn't show you that. Sorry. My bad. So I'm sorry. Let's go back to the passage. We talk about the gold and the shackles and everything. So I brought the verse for you to see. So that is the first passage that came to my mind without searching through the Bible using the search tool of a woman being adorned with jewelry. She wasn't being married. She wasn't a part of a bridal party. He just put this jewelry on her, women wear jewelry. I'm not finished yet. I am now going to go to Exodus 11 verse 1 to 3. And the Lord said unto Moses, or let me see if I can put everything in. Ye will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow his neighbor, every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. Okay. Now, I am going to speak based on what people will say to you. That gold and those jewels of gold and those jewels of silver is just weights and pieces of gold, and they're supposed to use that to trade and buy through. Nonsense. Nonsense. Not true. Hold on a minute. Not true. They're jewelry made of silver, jewelry made of gold, and they wore them there, and they also embedded the jewelry in the clothing. That's what the Bible says. A human person can tell you it was for trading. Yeah, you can trade the gold, but they may bought gold, they bought jewelry. Exodus 11 verse 1. Exodus 11 verse 2. Utens articles, as you can see the Greek here, kilali, article, vessel, implement, utensils. Right? Jewels. Article, better implement. So they borrow jewelry from the Egyptian. They borrow cups of silver, cups of gold, vessels of silver, vessels of gold, a whole bunch of things made of gold, but they bought jewelry. So now we're going to look at a passage of scripture now to see now if they wore some of this jewelry. Well, let's go. And Aaron said, in Exodus 22, verse 2 to 5, Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings, which are the ears of your wives, of your sons, of your daughters, and bring them to me. In simple words, all the boys wear earrings, all the girls wear earrings, all the women wear earrings, and all the men wear earrings. God, boys are wearing them, men wear them too. Take all the earrings, and we ain't talking about little earrings, because Rebecca got half shekels of earrings, and shekels got some weight. Coins are made of shekels. The many bulbs that we put in here, there was heavy jewelry. And something you have multiple jewelry in your ear, you have jewelry in your nose, you have a chain from your nose to the earring. So, from the nose to the earring, from the nose to the earring. You have jewelry on your foot, you have bangles coming down your hand. These people have gold upon them. They even embroidered the gold in the clothes. So we're going to see that next. And when Moses, here we go, saw that the people were naked, but Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among the enemies. Now, Apostle Gino Jennings is saying that this naked is sin. No. They took all the gold that were present on them. They did not go back to their tents for gold. They took all the earrings and they took the gold out of their clothes. And they left a lot of holes in the clothes. That when you look at the clothes and you look at the holes, you saw the skin. That's what nakedness is. It isn't a fancy thing, but sin nakedness. You know, sometimes you say some things that are not right. Alright. Exodus 32, verse 23 to 28. Exodus 32, 23. Naked. They were naked. To lead to act as leader. Something this software plays the fool. And you put 24 there. I don't understand that. Okay, let me put it back here. Verse 25. They were naked, King James V. Geneva said naked. And this said, let them get out of control. They will. Let's go through the Greek. Right? Moses on translated Mark, right? That to let go, to be let loose, to be made unruly. He, that because of, to let loose. Aaron, belong to regardless. Alright, so let me apologize to everybody. There's a reason why I keep saying that there's issues with the Bible. This word naked does not mean you have on no clothes. We can see the skin underneath your clothes. This word naked means out of control. I went through the Hebrew just now. It means out of control. I'm going to give you a little history on classical English. English in England was a new language. It came about because what happened in England was the country of Britain, or United Kingdom as it's called. You were sent from the other European countries to England to be banished from Europe. So the French went, the Portuguese went, the Swedish went, everybody went. And because of the mixed language, the younger people created a Creole, which is a mixture of all languages, and then it defined what they were trying to say. And that's how we get in. The English language is a cohobler part of many languages put together. In 1400 to 1600, the alphabet only had 20 letters, and the vocabulary was small, and words had compound meaning. If we go to Genesis chapter 3, I said Genesis chapter 3, actually 2, and the last verse. This word naked here means, you can see it, bare, naked, and rump. It has to deal with bare. They have on no clothes. But when we go to Exodus 22, 32, verse 25, naked has a different meaning according to the Hebrew. Again, King James is wrong. Something you need to go back to that text. So words themselves will have different meaning in different parts of the Bible. This naked in this passage mean out of control, ignorant, loose, let alone out of control. Right. The fact of the matter is that they had on so much jewelry. The children had earrings, bangles, and chains and stuff, just like we read in Genesis. We read in Genesis chapter 22. We read the same thing in Exodus 11 and Exodus chapter 32. They had on so much jewelry. Now, pastors like to say jewelry cause you to say and they would have to wear jewelry. That is incorrect. To disobey God or to rebel against God is a choice. It's a choice by the person who's doing it. It has nothing to do with the object. It has to do with the person's choice. Let me give you an example. You come by my house and say, I got 4 drinks on the table, do pick one. I got water, I got Marby, I got Coca-Cola, I got Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid, it make you pick it. The Marby make you pick it. You choose the Marby to drink. So the actions in Exodus 32 were the choice of the people, not the jewelry. But both cases, people wore a lot of jewelry. And they also had vessels of gold and silver. And they did not take off the silver jewelry. They took off the golden jewelry. And it was melted to make a golden calf. But the jewelry did not make the people say it was a choice. Now, quickly to finish up the jewelry thing. Can a maid forget her ornaments or buy her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Can a maid forget her ornaments, earrings, chains, bangles, rings, things she wear with her on her body? The maid, not the bride, to make her look presentable. It has nothing to do with the event. It has nothing to do with the event. Women adorn themselves with jewelry. Ornaments is another word. Here is Samuel. Ye daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothes you in scarlet with other delights, who put ornaments of gold upon your apparel. So here we see again women with ornaments made of gold or jewelry. In other words, the day the Lord will take away the burden of their thinking, tingling ornaments above their feet, and their calf, and their round tires like the moon. The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers and the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels. Look at here, look at all the jewelry women and people used to wear. Not only women, men as well. Because you went back to the Exodus and you took the earrings. Or cut the boys' ears. You took the earrings or cut the boys' ears. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord, my soul shall be joyful in my God. For he hath clothed me with the garment of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness. And as a bridegroom decked himself with ornaments, and the bride adore herself with her jewels. Right? Good. Now, so therefore, in conclusion, wear your jewelry. And we can get down now to how you should conduct yourself in church and deal with this Corinthian nonsense. Wear jewelry. Why does Minister Chuline does not wear jewelry? I don't like jewelry to wear jewelry. I barely wear glasses to help me to see. But otherwise, I don't like to wear glasses. I don't like to wear a hat. I don't like a chain. I don't even like a watch on my hand to tell me time. I prefer to use a glass cell phone. That will use to tell my time. I don't like them things on my skin. That is my choice. There's nothing wrong with a man wearing jewelry. There's nothing wrong with a man wearing earrings, called Jewish men. Israelite men who had earrings from the boys to the men. We read that. Stop, reverse this video, and you will see how you practice there. But we can now look at 1 Corinthians 11. There was a verse in Ezekiel about, I will cover thee with silk, deck thee with ornaments, and put bracelets upon thy hands and chains upon thy necks. Right? Yeah, so he talked about jewelry again. How to carry yourself today. Before anybody that 1 Corinthians 11, and you know, you hear me, and jerk it down people's throat, and make them come to church that got enough hair on the head, cover it for no reason at all, because the hair is covering the head. We must first understand what happened in COVID and why the statements were made by Paul the Apostle. But hold a minute. Before I go further, I have a disclaimer. I got some facts to give you, and thank you who get offended. Preachers, as they call themselves, ministers, presenters of the gospel of pastors, need to stop teaching what they hear, read the thing properly, and understand that when it comes to the epistles in the New Testament, you do not know what was reported to Paul, how it was reported to Paul, so you will know why Paul is saying what he's saying in the epistle. You cannot apply it directly to your situation or your church because you do not know why Paul said this. Why am I saying this? Paul is an Israelite, a tribe of Benjamin, a Jew among Jews. If you go to the Old Testament, I got in the video too. Men beards were long, men hair was long. You're going to the synagogue, your head was covered as a meal. You can't not right bow. Priest can cut the hair or the beard. These were the practice of Israelites, Judaites, Benjamites, Levites, and all the other tribes of Israel. Men had long beards, men had long hair, men covered their head. The covering had a symbol on it that tells you which tribe they belong to. They enter the temple by different gates according to your tribe. Paul is not saying that if you pray and prophesy with your head covered as a man is on your head. It is written, and it seems to imply that. But unless you understand a little of chapter 10, you will not understand chapter 11. In fact, it is better to read the whole chapter as one whole thing than just take it apart and read, because unless you know what's in chapter 10 and what's in chapter 10, 12, you are not clearly going to see what's happening in chapter 11. Still, we don't know why Paul, we get a little bit impression, but we don't know why Paul. I ain't gonna sound hypocritical, no. I want to explain it to you a little later. Now, let's look at verse 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Moreover, brethren, I will not that ye shall be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. So you got to understand in the Corinthian church who he is speaking to. He's speaking to those who descend from Jacob, or who descend from the children of Jacob. He's not speaking to everybody. The church at Corinth consists of descendants of Ham, descendants of Shem, descendants of Jacob, and descendants of Japheth, who, according to Genesis chapter 10, were known in the New Testament as the Gentiles. The key factor is that he was speaking specifically to those people who are descendants of Israel, because it was them who passed through the Sea of Reeds, or we get teach it as the Red Sea, but it's here, Red Sea. It's here, read Red Sea. Don't make a difference. Some see the pass through. And we're all baptized under Moses into the cloud. So you see, he's specifically speaking to the Israelites in the church, specifically them. He begins to go a little further. I let him know all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. Because I got the right to do certain things, it don't mean I got to do everything. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. But it don't mean that because I am free to do everything, that it will edify or glorify God. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. This wealth is not speaking about money, as today is. It's talking about the richness of salvation of mankind. Whoever is so in the scramble that eat, ask no question for the conscience sake. So you get invited to some place, and somebody you say to eat it. For the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. If any of them, anybody in Corinth, that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, you decide to go, whatever step before you eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. Don't offend the boy, just eat it. But if any man says to you, any man here means you're gone to the feast, you're invited to lunch, you're invited to dinner, you're invited to party, you're invited to a wedding, you're invited to some sort of feast. And other people are there, and the boy put food in front of you, and this boy said don't eat that, offer the idols. He says here, eat not for his sake. The boy that tell you that offer the idols. Alright? That show it, that tell you about it. For the conscience sake, for peace sake, for the earth is the Lord, for the job. Conscience, I say, not thy own, but of the others, considering how the others will feel about it. For why is my liberty judged of other man's conscience? For if by grace be a partaker, why am I even spoken of for that which I give thanks? So every eat the food, despite tell me offer idols, he gonna speak evil of it. Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatever you do, do all for the glory of God. Give none offense, neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of God. Do not do anything that you take the offenses to somebody else. Yeah, they please all men in all things, not mean that everything please men is, not seeking my own profit, my own benefit, but to the benefit of many, that they may be saved. Then you say, so be followers of me even as I am of Christ. Now I pray you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the audiences and deliver them to you. They don't think they teach you in the past. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of a woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. And I said to you that there are times when, I want to put this in red, I'm using Bible verse 8 and not Bible verse 10. If you're using Bible verse 10, it has in the original translations and original text, you will see what's missing. This part in green, I being factual, don't make no sense, right? I being real. If Christ is God, God can be his head. If Christ is God, God can be his head. And if Christ is the man's head, God is the man's head. It ain't God, then Christ, then man, then woman. No. Right? He says, you want to please all men and all things. You can please all them, mama, you gotta cut your hair. And don't pray and prophesy with your head cover. And a woman should pray with her head cover. Alright. And he's saying, hey, woman don't want to cover your hair, shave your hair off. Because it don't care where you is, anytime a woman got shaved head, it's a shame to her. And she can cover it. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and the glory of God, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for a woman, but the woman for a man. For this God, a woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as woman is of the man, even is the man also of the woman, but all things of God. Judge yourself. Is it coming that a woman pray on the God uncovered? Do not Even nature itself teaches you that every man have long hair is a shame unto him. A lot of things that I just read in here, I have a right to question. And why? Because when you go back to the Old Testament, the priests to cut the hair, so the hair alone, the head is be covered. Priests and priests pray to God. So if it is a shame for a man to got long hair, and the shame for a man to pray his head, then what we reading in Torah is what we reading in Torah is correct. So I can put everything in a nutshell, because if you read it properly, the whole 1 Corinthians 11 to that part, you can get confused. I can even say here that a woman having long hair is the glory of her, glory to her, for her hair give her for a covering. So if the hair is a covering, what's going to cover your head for? Alright, so let me speak about this thing. Paul, like us today, is a human being, a preacher. And Paul wants to share something with us that would encourage us to go down a certain road. Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 explained specifically to the Israelites in Corinth, but I know you don't understand. We try to win souls for the kingdom, and although elsewhere these things are alright, there's something that is alright elsewhere that can be alright here. He says, look, anybody goes to invite you to a festive feast and look something that's eatable, take all things and eat it. But if the man next to you or a man who comes, so don't eat that or offer the idols. Whether it's offensive to the people around you, that you believe would be a stumbling block to them knowing about Christ and the gospel, don't do. And here's one of the things you all do, you, descendants of Israel, that you need to do differently in Corinth. I know it's customary to have long beards and long hair and cover your head when you pray, but don't pray. They consider it to be a shame for a man that got long hair and going and praying in temples. And I'm going to give you an opinion based on what we were being told in church. In Corinth, there were temples. These temples are used for the worship of other gods. Diana, Astra, which Easter came from, Hercules, Zeus, and whatever. Women, when they into these temples, this is what I hear and learn theology and history and that sort of thing. I have not proven it to be fact by my shame, but I heard and maybe it may be helpful. So, when the women go into these temples with these false gods to pray, their heads are covered. Even the ones that shave heads will be covered. I don't know they were veiled, but they were covered. And men normally kept short hair. He's telling them that other people find it offensive for men to have long hair in Corinth. So you gotta keep your hair short. It's not a problem. Hair just grow back fast. And he's used their words to motivate them, the Israelites among the church in Corinth, to do these things. Alright, I want to look at something here that speaks to that. Give none offense. Don't offend the Jew. Don't offend the European or Gentile or the Church of God. Do not do things that people find offensive. It's right there in front of you. Give none offense. Don't offend your fellow Jews. Don't offend Europeans and other members of the church. Don't offend them. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 32. Give none offense. Give none offense. Having nothing to strike against. Don't let anybody speak against you. Not cause you to stumble. Right? Not striking against or stumbling. Without offense. Not troubled by the consciousness of sin. Be blameless regarded. Now this is what the MIT do. Be blameless in regards to the Jew, the Greek, and the thing. This is what NIV said. Do not cause anyone to stumble, whether Jews, Greek, or the church. And again, the term offense means having nothing to strike against or causing to stumble. So then, but there's something you don't have offensive. So I'm going to talk about it in 1 Corinthians 11. Verse 1 and verse 16. And if you read it properly, it's a lot of confusion. She got to wish she had covered with a cloth or a hat or something. So, but yet if she got long hair, she needs to, because long hair cover she had. He is asking you to do something that other places you wouldn't have to do, so that what you do will not offend the Gentiles, the Europeans, those non-Europeans. Everybody called Gentiles and Gentiles. Come, let me help you. Let me help you. Come. What is it, Babel there? Alright. I want to look at verse 5. Really, I want to click the word Gentiles here. So Gentiles here mean really nation people. I love the King James Bible. We can speak as it says here. But these were the others of the Gentiles, divided into their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their family, in their nations. Who are these people? It starts the sons of Japheth are the Gentiles. In the Old Testament, when the descendants of Esau got involved with descendants of Japheth or Gentiles, the children of the Japheth, mixed with Esau, produced a group that also referred to as the Gentiles. The Tawi Europeans, Tawi Gentiles and non-Jews. No, not correct. The Genesis chapter 9, 10 tells you those who descend from Japheth are Gentiles. In the New Testament, when it refers to other people who are not of descendants of Japheth, it called their nation. But when it came to the Romans and the Greeks and them, they always called them Romans, Greeks, Gentiles. They never refer to them. They mention Italians, they mention Spaniards, French, Swedish. They all refer to them as Greek, Romans, or Gentiles. But where you come from, Ethiopia, Ethiopian, this or that place. Gentiles is not for everybody. We of African descent are descendants of Seth. What is that? Those of northern and northern central Africa are descendants of Seth. Those from southern central and southern Africa, some of them may be descendants of Ham. But the evidence of that will be done in another passage. The fact of the matter is that let's say here that those who descended from Japheth were referred to in Genesis chapter 10 as Gentiles. So in the New Testament, Gentiles are descendants of Seth, Japheth, and Japheth are descendants of Europeans, and the Greeks and the Romans descended from Japheth, and they refer to as Gentiles. Alright? That's the correct thing. That is the correct things. The Europeans tell all we Gentiles. I can show you an error in the Bible, and I'm going to explain this here to you. I want you to show you, so you see Babel. You see Babel. You see Nimrod. Sons of Cush, right? Ham. So I try to figure out what it is that the sons of Ham are from the kingdom of Babel, and why all of a sudden, okay, let's go to this part. I got a video on it. In this passage, this word tongues, they have multiple meanings for tongues. They have in plural, feminine tongues. They have it singular tongues. And up here, tongues is plural. If we go to verse 5 and we look at the Hebrew for tongues here, I want you to look at that symbol there. You see what it look like? Look good at it. Look at good at this. You see T behind there, the dots where it is? Good. But let's now go to this tongues. There's a difference here. A slight difference. It's shorter. It is shorter. Let's look at it here. There is the one we see with Japheth, which is plural, but then there's also one that only has 3 Hebrew characters, which is singular. Let's go back to verse 5 and CBC same thing. Yes, but the issue is that chapter 11 says that the whole world was of one language. That's true, and of one language. And there are 2 meanings in the word language, and of one speech. And it talks about a group of people that built the tower. Who were there? And if you tell the tower is called Babel, who did Babel descend from? Here's who Babel descend from. Cities are named after sun. When you read earlier, alright, so The key factor here, though, is for this passage is that there are people who prefer everybody as Gentiles. According to Genesis chapter 10, it is mainly Europeans who are referred to as Gentiles in the New Testament. Now, how does 1 Corinthians 11 apply to the church? You see, give none offense, don't offend nobody, no matter who them is. Sometimes we have to do things that are not wrong. The things that we want to do that are not wrong, but other people say it wrong and find offenses, right? And then I explain everything in my third part, my timeline. I made a statement last week and make it again. There's nothing wrong with a Christian going and attending a fete. Nothing wrong with a Christian going to a rum shop, a bar, buying a drink or a meal. The Bible does not condemn or say it's a sin to drink alcohol. The Bible teaches you the abuse of alcohol will cause you to talk your business. The Old Templars that Jesus following have to stop with the nonsense passed on by the slave masters, where the slave masters will take out passages of scriptures and use them to control the slave. I know you're doing it to control what your members do. There's no way in the Old Testament or New Testament that says drinking alcohol is wrong. However, because of how the church organization, false church, has conditioned the mind of the Western world, you shouldn't really visit a fair unless you have to. You shouldn't go into a bar or rum shop unless you need to. In fact, in our time, getting in a rum shop or a bar, conduct business and even sit down and drink, there's nothing wrong. I did something called in Jamaica called Bar Ministry, where we visited rum shops, and I drink a Coke. I love Coke. I love soft drink. We played dominoes. Some of my other brethren with me played dominoes, and while playing dominoes, we asked them about if they go to church, if they believe in God. They complain that the people that go to church on the road don't even say anything to them, even to church or anything. So, and that they are happy that someone comes to share God with them, whether they choose to follow God or not. So something is how you do and what you do when you're there. But if, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 10, you're gonna offend somebody, then be free from doing it. Alright? Or the behavior. So you go to a job and people just curse, think, and get on bad. You gotta still tell members go to the job. The boss man is tell some women how sexy them look. You gotta still go to the job. So you tell me you can't get in a bar and buy a drink? It's what I choose to do, how I choose to behave with the determined testimony, not where I go. Though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I fear no evil because the Lord is with me. But if I go in the rum shop and I go in the fete to pick up a woman to have sex with and do all these sort of things, that's a different story altogether. That's a choice. And I will pay for the choices that I made. But it's wrong for you to tell people it's wrong to drink alcohol, wrong to drink a beer. It's wrong to get this in that place. Sometimes your presence is the deadly enemy that causes to flee and save somebody in a time. Maybe they may not turn to Christ then, but down the road they can remember your presence and what God used you to do. So I want to share personal testimony. Simple testimony. The late elder Arnold Lipcott. We're at a place in Barbados called Texas. I knew him. His daughter Charlotte and I were in school at LG together. So as boys, you know you're coming from the beach after going there 9 o'clock in the morning. You left in there 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So we said, man, there was a mango tree about 20 or 30 feet from on the roadside. There's a road in front of Texas, and there's a mango tree off. And we said, man, we gonna go up in this mango tree. So all we going to mango tree to pick some mangoes. As the lift cock came and said to us, boys, you do not own this mango tree. This is not your mango tree. And you picking mangoes in this mango that don't belong to you. You are stealing. I got down when the first we walking up the road, and I remember that statement that Elder Lipcott made to me. He wasn't Elder then, he was Evangelist Lipcott then. And then, the next time we want mangoes or anything, so I will go to the manager in my factory house and ask his wife, can I pick some apples? Can I pick some mangoes? She was just sure. He ain't introduced Christ to me, but that was a start, right? That was a start. You got to go where no man has been before. That's called a Star Trek. To take the gospel to reach somebody. God bless you tonight in Jesus' name. Now, do I have it in my notes? I can be asked to. I grew up in this time where the churches asked to see something happen that mirrors what they think they understand in Revelation and Daniel. Christ coming for the world. Christ coming soon. Sad to say, a lot of wonderful men lost their dignity and respect as men of God and men that serve God because they false prophesied. I have to give them some blame because it is your responsibility, if you can read, to study and to ask God to get clarity. But then I have to blame the leaders of the church for folly. Twice within the last 400 years, in the United States of America, we have something called the Great Awakening. And in the Great Awakening, the preachers use the book of Revelation as the means of preaching Christ coming. Christ is coming. However, we are being in the last days from Acts 2. We have been in the last days from Acts chapter 2. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Acts chapter 2. And it shall come to pass in the last day, saith God, I will pour my spirit upon all flesh. We are in a dispensation of time. The Bible translated at the last days. The ending of the era as we know it. It wasn't something that is to come. It is something that we are a part of. And I'm going to go through some terms in the book of Revelation again that you need to understand. The Antichrist, the word anti means against Christ. So Antichrist means anything that speaks, behave, or speak against Christ. The Antichrist was present among us even in the book of Acts. The Nicolaitans. The Antichrist meets its pinnacle in 300 AD with the establishment of the Roman Catholic Church. I can show you how bad it is and how a lot of weird revelations have been fulfilled. The fastest growing, what they call religion, belief system from Acts 2 or to 320 AD was the Apostles' doctrine, the teaching of the Apostles. And because the Romans were more liberal and they considered that that's the unknown God, but yet we can still worship God. You worship you one God, we can worship you one God. So it didn't cause a conflict for the level of persecution, we like to say. Then there was that attempt to shut them up. You were free to do your own thing, we can do your own thing. We got more people to follow you, you got more people to follow you. May the best man win. That is really how it was. It was only the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the priests of Judah that persecuted the church in the book of Acts. Not the Romans. We know the story of Nero, but then recognize that Nero told a lie. The Christians never burned down the city. Nero burned it down because Nero wanted to build a big swimming pool. He ain't had the real estate open land to do it, but he wanted to burn land because he wanted the big open pool to be near him. And somebody, after learning the history of Nero, developed sorry become really called Nero. Burning sorry, but then we used to burn cities. So in 320 AD, the Antichrist came to its pinnacle, where they decided we are going to join with the Apostles' doctrine first. Then the church, or the Apostles' teaching, or teaching the church, became part of the state. But here's what them do. In 100 years or so, they passed laws to outlaw the Apostles' doctrine. They did things to make it an offense to teach some of the Apostles' doctrine. And we lost those things that Peter, Paul, and them taught. Although we got a New Testament. Don't fool yourself. You know what we're talking about. Okay. Let me see how I can put it for you to understand. Okay? There are 3 ways naturally to get drinking water. Catch it when it rains, get it from a river, or get it from underground. Either way is water. But the method of getting the water may differ. The rules of catching the water will differ. The easiest way to get water is when it rains. There's no restriction on catching rainwater. There's a restriction on accessing the river because somebody may own the land you have to cross to get to the river. There may be a restriction of getting underground water because you don't own the land the water's under, so you can't dig a well to get your water. But when it rains, you can catch that water because rain ain't a restriction. The Acts gospel, or the gospel of that thing, was free. Liberal, had no restriction, wasn't controlled by laws and by rules, governed by a pope and a bunch of Roman governors. But when they started to implement rules, the subtly made change that the working Antichrist. The Antichrist can come to you straight off. He can come to you He can join with you. He can be a part of you. He can make you believe that he believes what you believe. He gonna make you, and then when as he comes along, he will take authority, and then he's gonna make changes. That will happen from 320 AD. So the Pope, they say, no one can get to God but by he. Confess your sins to me. Well, the law is to confess the sin one to another. It teaches you to go advocate with Jesus Christ. So if you go advocate with Jesus, we're going to go tell the Pope or the priest in the confessional. So even although they give us the Bible never tells us to go to confession, go to the priest to confess your sins. Alright, the priest in Israel knew your sin because the kind of offering you bought. You bought a sin offering. You know your sin, but you know what kind of sin you do. But the confession is to tell the priest the sin you committed, the type of sin that you committed. So we be under the adequate rule from since 320 AD till now, where we are part of organized church. All the original church did was did things and conform to the laws of the land. Render all the Caesar and on God is God. Now we live in an era where we are living in an era where the laws of the land tell we how we is to worship God, when we is to assemble. We get more liberty now, but then they now begin to change that liberty too. They still got control. They discourage majority of people from growing their own food, and we then begin to get mass lands of farms, growing food, and then you can't give me chickens for my corn, you can't give me barley for my wheat. We introduce something that the only way we can buy and sell is with it. We call it gold and silver first, then we introduce fiat currency, and then we introducing no digital card. Let's be real. If you want to buy chicken and you don't raise chickens, what do you need to buy chicken with? You see? You can't buy and sell out what them tell you gotta use. So by having money, is this a map of my soul? No. So you can't buy and sell without fiat. You kill and execute and murder to get fiat. You rob to get fiat. You lie to get fiat. You do schemes to get fiat. You defraud people to get fiat. You work like a slave to get fiat. To buy land, to buy house, to travel, to enjoy vacation. Fiat. The fiat your country can't spend in US, so you gotta get the fiat that they use in US. Currency, money. You can't buy and sell in US without fiat. US fiat or US currency or US dollars. You can't buy and sell in Euro, pounds in England without pounds. In Euro or EU. So a lot of the things in Revelation have been happening, because Revelation is a book that deals with the beginning, the middle, and the ending. What happened in the beginning? What happened in the beginning? We read about the rebellions in heaven and how God tossed down the earth, caused the earth to become non and void, and then God had to build a kingdom on top of Satan. But the woman decided to disobey God and the man. So you in the last days, you in the time of the Antichrist, you just me against Christ. But it got a form of godliness. But the power of God overthrew it. And man, even when he's sincere, still present himself with dominance from the platform. Like slave masters do and the Catholics do. And Anglicans did. The Methodists did it. You got church that restrict you. And you don't follow the rules and do everything. You're restricted from doing things in the church. But you ain't restricted from going to share the gospel. You ain't restricted from sharing God's love. You ain't restricted from giving a man a meal. You ain't restricted from paying a man's rent. You ain't restricted from doing that. But you're the member of a church. So we have been in the last days. We've been going through tribulation period. I mean, understand what's going on? 7 weeks, 7,000 years, 3.5 years. We in it, right? Good. All right. Why are we following the Great Awakening folly that led to a lot of people false prophesying? Where we trying to say, Christ coming now. He coming tomorrow. We don't come back and say he coming tomorrow, or he coming January. We just say he is closer to coming than come. No man knows the time now. The hour where Christ gonna appear. He coming like a thief in the night. Stop trying to encourage people down a road that they believe that Christ is enemy. No man know the time. I know the time. I could get to downstairs now to make a cup of tea. And while I get on the stairs, I get raptured or Christ come. And judgment start. They're in the pre-tribulation rapture. They're in the mid-tribulation rapture. The Bible never talk about none of the two. Alright? All of that is false teaching from the Great Awakening. I'm going to study it. We need to stop. I ask people, do you need the Euphrates River in this time to dry up for army to get crossed it? The answer is no. The military technology we have today, then in John's time, because a horse can't get crossed a deep river. But you got helicopters, you got boat cars, vehicles that got wheels can drive through the water. And we got wheels. You got bridges across the Euphrates River. Getting from one side to the next don't require the river to dry up, folks. Common sense, common knowledge. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. And some God looking at it from that point of view. So what is the prophecy really telling me? A timeline. X-Men, Loki, False God talks about a timeline and events in the timeline. Biblical prophecy talks about events in a behold, a virgin will be with child. And it's a timeline in the earth. Christ can come in the form of a man. He was bruised for our he was bruised for our he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised on our iniquities. The chastisement of our people upon it, and by his stripes we are healed. Crucifixion, resurrection, right? Timeline. We are in last days. From Acts 2. The foolishness of the Great Awakening. We have been in last days incoming. The last days start Acts chapter 2. We are in tribulation period. If you study world history, some of the things we see now happen for 18 different times. Homosexuality. Let me talk about homosexuality because I can show you some of the nonsense you're talking. The earth was done for homosexuality, Menorah. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of homosexuality. Israel was divided as a nation into the northern kingdom and Judah because of homosexuality. And Paul in Romans chapter 1 talks about homosexuality. So Paul wrote this here about 40 or 50 AD. This is 2024. You don't expect it to be continuing. What happened all the way down Genesis, all the way in Chronicles, all the way at the beginning of the New Testament. And all like no we expect. Paul said, men and let deserve the men for women and men and let deserve the women for men. So ain't that new? And let's sing the last days, cause something do really that can happen what happened before the last day, before Acts chapter 2. A little common sense can go a long way. God bless you. In Jesus' name. Here is our contact information. You can contact me. Call me, man. Tell me, come and have a discussion with me and tell me how wrong it is. I'm going to show you where you stand and where I believe I'm right. And show you some things that you're doing wrong. Here's my contact information. In conclusion, wear your jewelry, wear your makeup. Wear that don't offend nobody. And you look like people that do prostitution. Oh, Jesse, no. Racial wear jewelry. If let's wear jewelry, we see all that in this video. We must make sure that even although there are things we want to do that are not sin, because of how we were conditioned and brought up in our societies, we may have to refrain from doing them because we don't want to offend anybody. We want to win them to save them. So we may got to tweak and don't do certain things. And remember, I'm asked to we're in the last days, and if we see any points happening in prophecy, first look back at history. Has it happened in history before? Yes, then it ain't biblical prophecy. Is it never happened before? Yes, it never happened before. There is a timeline on the last day period. God bless you tonight in Jesus' name.